Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Buki. I'm a food blogger and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. If you've never been on my channel and this is your first time here, please click the subscribe button. I would love for you to join the family. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell also so you get notifications and you don't miss any future video. In today's video, you guys, I'm going to show you how I make my chicken stock and my meat stock. You guys have asked me over the years and somehow I just never got around to shooting it. And I think it's the perfect time to show you how I do this. I use similar ingredients in both, but some things vary from the type of meat and stuff that I use. But in this video, I'm going to show you everything I use to make the perfect chicken stock and the perfect meat stock. So stay tuned. The first one that I'm going to show you is for my chicken stock. So I'm using, this is 2 whole chickens, 2 fresh live chicken that was killed in the market. So this is 2 whole chickens. I'm going to use fresh basil for this. I'm going to use some spring onions. I'll use some fresh thyme. I also have this garlic and ginger paste that I make and store in my fridge. I'm going to use that also. I'm using some chopped onion. I'm using bay leaves, some salt and stock cubes. Sometimes I use habanero, but I'm going to skip it in this one because I intend to use this stock for something else and I don't need the extra pepper in it. So I'm going to skip the habanero for this one. But if you want to, you can totally add habanero in yours. It's going to give it such a really nice flavor that I really like. But for the purposes of what I'm doing with this meat stock after, I'm going to skip it in this one. So I'm just going to show you how I put it all together to cook my chicken. So first I'm going to add my chicken to the pot. And then I'm going to add, in no particular order really, I'm going to add this thyme, my fresh thyme. I'm going to add some basil. It doesn't matter if you pluck it off the stems. It's all going to wilt and fall out in the pot, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to add my ginger and garlic paste. I think it's really important to have this ginger and garlic paste in your fridge. It's important for so many things. It gives really good flavor. I don't know if you guys cook with ginger or garlic. It gives like a ton of flavor and I really like it. I'm going to add my chopped onions and my bay leaves and also stock cubes. Now when it comes to stock cubes and salt, because we're making this for the stock, it has to be properly seasoned. Usually I'll use 2 stock cubes, but in this one actually I'm going to use 4 because I'm going to add a lot of water and I need that water to have good flavor. So I'm using 4. I'm also going to add some salt. Don't worry, it's not going to be too much. I'm going to add some salt to this. And now I'm going to slice my spring onions. I'll just cut off this part and the rest I'm going to use. If you've never tried spring onions when you're cooking your chicken, I think that you should try it. Extra flavor and anything to cook to give extra flavor, I'm all for it. So if you notice, I'm using fresh herbs for this. I'd rather that than put a ton of stuff from a plastic container. I've just kept it to the fresh herbs, the ginger, the garlic, the salt, and the stock cubes. And this is going to have amazing flavor, you guys. Like, I really wish it was something that you can taste so that you will see what I mean. But when you go off and do it at home, you're going to see what I'm saying, that this gives it so much flavor, as in, it's going to be really good. Now, the amount of water that you add, of course, depends on you, how much meat stock you want. And, you know, all of this water is going to help cook the chicken, and it's also going to obviously be left over for me to save some to use for whatever it is that I want to do afterwards. And when this is done, I'm going to show you also how I store it, because people have asked me how I store it and how long I keep it for. So let's cook this first and then I'll show you the rest of it. So for my meat stock, I'm using ram meat. Ram is my favorite type of meat after oxtail. Actually, no, before oxtail, I prefer ram meat to oxtail, so yeah. Ram meat is my favorite kind of meat and I think it's so flavorful. It's really nice, up to the bones. It's just super delicious and I prefer it to every other type of meat, to be honest. we usually get a lot during Salah, but even after Salah, I still buy and store in my freezer because it's just that good. So for this one, I'm using ram meat. So like I said, I'm using similar ingredients, but I'm going to leave some things out for my meat. And I always leave some things out for my meat, like the bay leaves, the spring onions. I don't add that to my meat. I just use all this other. So I have my chopped onions, my basil, my fresh thyme, and salt and stock cubes, and my ginger and garlic paste. Now, you may notice that the color of the stock cube is different, and I hate to mention in my videos what brand it is because I'm not trying to endorse any brand. I want you to use whatever you're comfortable with and whatever tastes good to use. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to tell you that this is Maggi Cubes. This is Maggi Star. They have different ones, but I'm using Maggi Star to cook my meat with. And for the chicken stock, I use no chicken to do that. Now I have a bunch of different stock cubes. I have the crayfish, the shrimp, the chicken, the beef. It just depends on what I'm cooking, and then I decide what I want to use. So for this one, I'm using Maggi Star stock cubes. I'll leave the full measurements for what I've done in the description box so that you have the measurements for when you want to try this out. So I'm going to add my meat to this pot in no particular order again. Add my fresh basil, some chopped onions, my ginger and garlic paste. You guys, I have a video for meal prep hacks that I think you should see. I'm going to link it up here for you. And in that video, I showed how I make my ginger and garlic paste. It's really quick and easy to do, so I'll link it up here for you so you can see. I'm going to add some ginger and garlic paste, my fresh thyme. You can always take the thyme leaves off the stem, but I don't have time for that. And plus, when it cooks, it's going to fall off, so it doesn't really matter if you do it or not. I'm going to add the stock cubes to this and some salt. And again, the amount of water that you add is really up to you and if you need the stock or not. Sometimes, especially after Salah, I always end up with so much meat stock in my fridge that when I cook after that, I don't save the meat stock because my freezer is already full and sometimes I just don't have the space. So depending on what you're trying to do, if you need all of the stock, add the water and let it cook and you can save the stock after. So I'm just going to put this on fire and let it cook until it's soft. It's going to take about 35 to 40 minutes to cook until it's soft, just the way I like it. My chicken and my meat are done cooking now. They're soft, just the way I like them. So I'm going to remove them from the water, let the water cool, and then I'll decant them into the storage containers that I'm going to use. I'm now going to strain this into a bowl to remove the particles of the seasonings and the herbs that I used. And I'll just let this cool somewhere. And then I'll do the same for my meats. These are the glass jars I used to store my chicken and my beef stock. So this first one is the beef stock. I'm sure you can already tell by the color. It's not a lot, so I'm just going to use one of the containers. And I don't have a funnel, otherwise I would have used one. But for this one, I'm going to use this soup spoon now to decant it into this glass container. And this is how I store them, guys. These jars are freezer safe, so they go straight into the freezer until when I need them. I just take them out, run hot water over them to loosen the lid, and it's usually fine. I take what I want to use or I use the whole thing. These jars are quite popular and they're available in a lot of supermarkets. I've seen them in quite a number of places. If you have any questions on where to get them, you can send me a DM on Instagram, but they're quite popular and you'll find them in a lot of supermarkets. I'm sure you see how easy it is to get super flavorful meat stock or chicken stock. It doesn't take too much, but you need certain things to infuse flavor in your meat stock and your chicken stock, especially if you want to cook other things with it, like make jollof rice, make stews or sauces or whatever else you want to do with your stock. It's important that it has a lot of flavor and you don't need to do too much. Less is always more, but just make sure you get the right things and it's going to be fabulous. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.